In this short video, I want to talk to you about Bundle 5 and the work that you need to do there. This is College Composition 2, and I want you to use Swordfish and Calligraph to experience some sides of writing that we are not going to cover very aggressively in class. The lectures I give you and really the main assignment, right, is the academic research paper. So we're looking at argumentative techniques and learning how to make a contribution, etc. Review of literature. So there is creativity there, but it's much more geared to academic research, obviously. And I feel like it's good to bring in some material that will remind you that writing is just there's so many different types of writing, and you might not necessarily enjoy one type, but you might actually be pretty good at another type. So poetry is like this, novel writing, journalism, technical writing. There's all sorts of ways to excel at writing, and very few people will excel at all, at all of these. So, I'm just saying you might enjoy this class and have success, or you might feel like this is not really something that you enjoy doing and you're not really seeing a lot of success that you would like to see, but maybe you're actually a pretty good writer in another arena. So I want us to explore this. Now, the idea behind Swordfish is not to basically learn those rules that Kate Freeland talks about, or the ways to punctuate clauses and how to avoid, say, fragments and comma slices in few sentences. I think our writing culture today is much more acceptable of the stylistic use of these quote unquote errors. I don't really want us to focus on that. What I would want this book to help us learn are just the ability to recognize the sentence elements. Okay, so whether we're looking at a current text or a text written 300 years ago, whether it's in English or Spanish or Chinese or whatever, there are elements in grammar that appear. You're going to have a verb, you're going to have a subject, you're going to have some sort of object. You're going to have prepositions, you can have objects of prepositions. You're going to have verbs used as descriptors, like participle phrases, gerunds, infinitives, things like that. And these appear in many, many languages over the course of hundreds of years. So these are worth learning. So I want us to use Swordfish to learn the elements, to be able to recognize where is the indirect object in this sentence, if there is one. Where are the two independent clauses, if there are two clauses here? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I want us to use. And what I'm using this for is to remind us of something we all know, okay? You can do something just because you're really good at how you feel the thing ought to work, and you have this sense of what it should look like, and you can't really maybe articulate that, but you can produce. And so you actually produce some pretty good writing, but you don't know very much about the technical aspects of the wordsmithing. But it sounds right, it feels right, it reads right to you, and you like it, and actually people like it too. So you might have this just innate sense as to how to write, but you have trouble recognizing the technical names for the parts of sentences that you are using. Now, if it were truly an either or situation, and you could have only one of either the style sense or the grammar know-how, the ability to recognize those sentence elements, I would take the sense at any time, right? But I feel like this is not an either or situation, and some of you can go up to the next level as a writer by learning a little bit about the technical side of things. So that's how I want us to use Swordfish. I want you to read chapters 1 and 2, and then I want you to take a quiz that I'll have on that material. Quiz might be 10 points or so. I'll have that loaded onto our courses site, and you'll need to take it after you read chapters 1 and 2. I don't have that ready yet, but I'll have it soon. And this needs to be done before the course ends. The course is going to close officially for me. I'm going to stop accepting your work at 11:59 p.m. the Saturday of final exam week. So, you have all the way until then, but don't put it off. So that's Swordfish. And then for Calligraph, I want you to read the short stories. Okay, I want you to read at least 6. And I want you to look for patterns. What kind of characters do they have? What does the main character look like? How do these stories open? What is the setting? What's the rising action? In other words, the story starts and then it builds to a problem, a conflict, an issue, right? and then the issue gets resolved, the problem gets fixed. How does that happen? Sometimes the resolution is not, what you might expect, and sometimes it's not pleasant. It's not what we might consider a good solution, but nevertheless, there is closure, right? So I want you to try to recognize those major elements and to see that. And what I want you to do is write your own short story. So I'm talking about a short story. Okay, try to make it under 1,500 words, and develop some characters. And you're going to have to be very, if you're thinking in terms of theater and play, why don't we consider this like a short one act? All right. Be careful of the movement in your story. Don't try to crowd it. You have a very small space in terms of short story, right? If we cap it at 1,500 words, 1,000 to 1,500. Let's see what you can do, right? Now, what I want you to do is I'm going to have some things set in our courses site that will allow me to give you some credits just for doing this. So when you say, hey, I did it, it's going to be some sort of affirmation quiz or something like that where you get the points, maybe 6 points or something. But I also want you to submit this to the Open Latch Education Foundation. So part of what you bought when you bought the bundle was you bought the right to interact with these editors. So I'm supposing we have a pool of editors over there that are looking for writing from young adults that they maybe can develop and publish through their publications. And so they might be interested in your story. So I want you to go ahead and send that out to them. Now, as far as copyright goes, you always, as long as you keep a copy of this on your computer, a file, whatever, and you keep that email, just archive it or something when you send your work in, you automatically have copyright. So they can't steal it or anything like that. So as long as I've used them, I've never run across a student that's ever had an issue like that. So, but they don't use everything. If they don't like what you've written, they're probably simply not going to contact you. But if they do reach out, that's a good sign. And maybe they're saying, hey, would you be consider revising it or expanding it or whatever, and maybe we can publish it. So it's a shot, right? It's worth a shot. And I feel like you paid money for that bundle. You have a master code. That bundle came with 2 workbooks and then a master code. Some documents, I think, somewhere in that mailer that the box that the books came in. So find those documents. You're going to find explanations of how to do Calligraph, of Swordfish, for example. You actually bought the whole book of Swordfish, but they gave you only the first 2 chapters. If you want the rest of the book as a PDF, you can just email them, send them your master code that proves that you bought a bundle this semester, and they'll send you the rest of Swordfish. So that's how they work. I believe also that there's another service that you bought called Topic and Thesis, where you can talk to editors about your topic and your thesis for research. And that might help you as well. You're welcome to use that. You don't have to, but that's part of what you paid for. So that's what I want us to do this semester with Swordfish and Calligraph. You are earning points through that, so I hope you bought the books and you can get started on that. And that short story from 1,000 words to 1,500, you'll need to submit it to Open Latch for evaluation. The email is olefservice@gmail.com. That's OLEF service@gmail.com. And then you also have to be able to affirm to me that you sent it in. So that you'll get points that way. And then after you read chapters 1 and 2 of Swordfish, take the quick quiz I have. It's probably going to be worth 10 points. And all of that needs to be done by the end of the course. So this course, I don't have final exams. This is kind of, we have a lot of work to do, and I'm going to give you all the way to the end of final exam week to do it. So anything that you're going to turn in for credit in this course has to come in by 11:59 p.m. of the Saturday of final exam week. If you're not sure exactly when that is, you just simply Google, your school's name, the term like spring 2020 or fall 2021 or spring 2022 or whatever, and then put final exam schedule, and you'll find it. So that's when all of this is going to be due. All right. Thanks for watching.